So The Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom is nearly here. We're 2 days away at the time of the filming of this video, and as you guys are well aware, I am a Zelda YouTuber nowadays, so just deal with it. But obviously, anticipation is at a high, feverish pace, but there's still lots of questions that aren't answered about this game yet, and I think that's kind of one of the more exciting things. We're going to talk about a myriad of Tears of the Kingdom topics in today's video because there are several things I want to cover, such as where the reviews are for this game, can you play this game early, but we're going to start out with a bang because Nintendo made a shocking announcement today about The Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom, confirming something that we had all sort of been hoping was in the game, and that is dungeons. It does appear that dungeons will be reappearing in The Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom, as stated in this Ask a Developer interview. Now, I'm not going to try to basically say these individuals' names because I'm going to screw them up. I could say like Dota and Takazawa, but the other one, Fujibayashi, I don't know. I just feel bad trying to mess this up. But this is from the official Ask a Developer page of Nintendo, and they were talking about dungeons in The Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom. So we've only discussed the skies, but this title has its dungeons too, right? Yes, we haven't talked about the dungeons yet. They've changed from the previous game. For example, there is a dungeon that connects you directly from Hyrule's surface. If you dive from the sky straight into the dungeon, you'll trigger an event. We think this will be a new experience that wasn't possible in the previous game. We've made dungeons unique to their respective environments, so we think you'll be able to enjoy the wide variety of regional characteristics. Making a wide variety was pretty challenging. The 4 divine beasts were the dungeons in the last game, and they shared similar designs. This time, the dungeons are huge and each carry their own regional look and feel, just like the traditional Legend of Zelda games. We think they will provide a satisfying challenge for players. They were certainly a challenge to develop. So this is obviously something very huge because I don't think a single person played Breath of the Wild and was like, man, I'm glad there's no dungeons in this game. Like, the divine beasts were okay, but I thought they were one of the weaker points of the game as far as the sort of exploration is concerned, and I think people wanted a more traditional dungeon style. Now, obviously, we've had shrines. We had shrines in Breath of the Wild. There's shrines in Tears of the Kingdom, but those weren't really a substitute for a traditional dungeon, whereas you know, a lot of people try to like pigeonhole these shrines as like, oh, well, if you combine a bunch of these shrines, it's like, no, shut up. We want a traditional dungeon. We want something to explore. We want a reason to be here and sort of, you know, a bit of a mystique around it and getting to a boss battle at the end of said dungeon. So I think this is a huge win for Tears of the Kingdom. Like, this is awesome. The fact that there's going to be a more traditional dungeon style that they're even sort of saying is akin to the Legend of Zelda games of past, like, that's a huge win. I don't know that you'll get like a special ability from these dungeons like you did in other games. You know, obviously you would get different sorts of items and stuff like that, but even if there are no items, like, I don't care. I just want something to explore in a unique manner. And, you know, something that has something at the end with like a big boss battle that's unique to the characteristics. Obviously, there's probably going to be like a fire one, a water one, so on and so forth, you know, a snow one, you know, just sort of based on what we've seen in previous Zelda games before. But I will find it interesting to see how they sort of come up with fresh ideas for these dungeons, how they are differentiating from each other, because they said they're a wide variety, you know, that these are each have their own regional look and feel, and the dungeons themselves are huge. So that's awesome. That is such a win, and it seems like it was Nintendo's sort of final surprise with this game, because we literally didn't know that there was dungeons in this game until 2 days before release. Obviously, there were rumors, there were speculation, and you know, people could have leaked it online, but as far as actually confirming something like this, I think that is a big win. Now, saying all of that, obviously the dungeons aspect is extremely exciting. There is a bit of concern with some people with Tears of the Kingdom because, like I said, we are roughly 2 days away from the launch of this game at the time of the filming of this video, and there are no reviews for this game that are out. The review embargo appears to be tomorrow on Thursday. So people are kind of wondering like, whoa, what's up with that? Like, usually when a game has a limited review embargo from, you know, the review embargo lifts and then the game comes out, when that time frame isn't very wide, Usually it's because, well, the game has problems, the game has issues, or the company themselves aren't too confident within the game. But that's not the case with Tears of the Kingdom, I feel, because you just have to look at things historically. If you look at things from a historical perspective, this was the same thing that happened with Breath of the Wild. Breath of the Wild's embargo date actually was not up until the day before the game came out. The game came out on a Friday, and once again, on a Thursday is when the embargo lifted. And I don't think people are going to argue necessarily, you know, the quality of that game. And that was a game that was a system seller for the Switch. You would have imagined that Nintendo would have wanted that review to go out much sooner so that people would pre-order Switches, because like, oh, you know, I gotta play the new Zelda game on this new hardware. But no, they literally waited till the day before the game came out in order to give reviews and give review scores out there. As far as how I think this game is going to review, based on everything I know about this game, I have to imagine it's gonna be like a 95. It's like I don't know if it'll pass Breath of the Wild's review score, just because Breath of the Wild was so different for The Legend of Zelda. But I feel like Tears of the Kingdom is like everything Breath of the Wild was, and then so much more. You know, there's so much more to it. The fact that we have things like dungeons, the fact that we have the sky islands, the fact that we have an underground. It seems like this game is just absolutely massive. Like it dwarfs what Breath of the Wild did in terms of like a world to visit, and, you know, things happening within the world, and, you know, side quests and side stories and different types of missions, and, you know, this, that, the other, Korok seeds even. It seems like there's a billion of those freaking things. I'm not collecting all of those, but I feel like it's going to be a better game than Breath of the Wild, but I'm not sure that it'll score higher because of the fact that we've already gotten that sort of wow factor out of the way that we got with Breath of the Wild when we had that open world. But this seems to be doing it much, much better. And don't forget, if you want to, you can actually get this game preloaded and play it early if you get an Australian Nintendo Switch eShop account. It's very easy to set up. I made a video talking about how to sign up for other regions on the eShop to get different accounts so that you can access things like sales in different regions, or, you know, when things come out early. But obviously this game is going to launch in Australia before it does in North America, where I assume you're watching this video. If you are watching it abroad, what's up? Thank you. Love the support. Worldwide, RGT is a worldwide phenomenon, but you can sign up for an Australian eShop account. Simply go and purchase some Australian eShop cards. Make sure you're picking up Australian eShop cards, and you can preload the game. How do I know this? Because I did it yesterday. My copy of Tears of the Kingdom is already preloaded on my Switch. I have spent a lot of damn money on this game because I also bought the collector's edition, and now I have this digital edition to play from the Australian eShop, but it's going to be worth it, man. Like, this game looks absolutely awesome, and I'm so happy that Nintendo confirmed that there's going to be dungeons in this game. Do not worry about the lack of review scores quite yet. Like, they're gonna come tomorrow, I'm sure, and obviously I can't say that with 100% certainty, but more than likely the reviews will pop up tomorrow. Everyone will be happy. There will be things to discuss with those reviews, because if people are giving this game super low scores, we're gonna have a come to Jesus meeting about this, because yeah, that's not gonna fly. But very exciting times. Let me know in the comment section down below. Are you excited to explore these dungeons in the game? What do you think about them? And are you happy to see them return, or do you wish there wasn't dungeons? And if so, why are you so weird? Because that's kind of weird. And as always, guys, thank you for checking out this video. If you are new to the channel, be sure to hit that subscribe button, like, comment, and share. Hit the bell notification as well. And as always, I'll catch you guys on the next video. Later.